Century Polymath, and this is the 21st Century Polymath, Rex Arthur, and we are going to discuss about the infamous fake news and the word fake itself. And we hope you enjoy, and as we read through an article, we're going to read through an article by Professor MICHEL CHOSSUDOVSKY of Global Research. This is going to be a new section whereby, apart from dealing with new lingo in the online and in the cyberspace, we are going to also deal with reading articles of other authors out there that are worth reading. So today we're going to read Professor MICHEL CHOSSUDOVSKY's article that talks about fake news, and he titles it "Fake Scholarship and the Future of America's University." So we hope you enjoy it as we read through. Fake Scholarship and the Future of America's University. Harvard University has established a modern version of the Catholic Church's Index Librorum Prohibitorum, a list of prohibited online publications which are tagged as fake and false, broadly following the political tainted list of censored, independent, and alternative media. As we recall, the Catholic Church Index was a list of books deemed heretical, anti-clerical, or lascivious. Ex cathedra, Harvard has decided in one fell swoop that virtually the entire US-based alternative media, quote-unquote, pertaining to tens of thousands of authors would be categorized not only as fake news, but fake science, knowledge, and analysis. The Harvard Index, however, goes far beyond the Catholic Church Index, which selectively banned books after careful reading, review, and evaluation within the church hierarchy. This frivolous decision by Harvard constitutes a violation of the most fundamental principles of university education, which are debate, discussion, critique, and analysis. The Harvard Index acts as a linchpin. It establishes a new normal, a guideline to colleges and universities across the land regarding what we can or cannot read, or what we can or cannot write. Is it a conspiracy? Yes, it is. Harvard's index broadly undermines the foundation of university education. It instates academic mediocrity. In turn, the targeted websites, including Global Research, are the object of a wiki smear campaign which has become embedded in online search engines. The latter tend to be increasingly skewed against alternative media content. The alternative media sites are thereby casually tagged as promoting fake news, quote-unquote, and conspiracy theories, quote-unquote. Harvard Library lists the authoritative fact-checking sites and plugins required by both students and professors to detect fake news. The universus is the totality of analysis and conceptualization, debate, discussion, observation, critique, interaction. The university as an institution encompasses the development of knowledge, learning, and research in the sciences, humanities, philosophy, history, social sciences, applied sciences, medicine, the study of law and justice, engineering, environmental analysis, policy analysis, management, as well as all creative endeavors in the fine arts and music. The various interrelated disciplines constitute the universus, the totality of knowledge, the learning process which characterizes humanity. Collegiality is what unites teachers, researchers, colleagues, within an academic environment in which independence of thought and mutual respect prevail. Of course, there are dominant schools of thought, particularly in establishment academic institutions, certainly in the fields of economics and political science. There are vested interests which pervade academia. There is ideology and politically correct perspectives which pervade teaching and research. But there is also plurality of thought and freedom of expression. Students are not discouraged or prevented from reading from an index of prohibited books and publications. The university is the place where universal values are debated. The advance of knowledge is humanity's guiding force. Harvard established their list without reading or even consulting the contents of the alleged fake online publications. We are talking about an extensive archive of hundreds of thousands of articles and authors, including award-winning scientists, prominent journalists, university professors, Nobel laureates, artists, actors, movie directors, distinguished politicians, including members of the US Congress, as well as young and committed authors and bloggers, and not to mention university, college, and high school students. Ironically, within this extensive archive are numerous university professors, prominent researchers, many of whom coincidentally are graduates of America's best universities, including Harvard. What are the implications? Is Harvard's censorship initiative as a leading, quote-unquote, Ivy League institution intent upon triggering a process whereby universities in the US, Canada, and Western Europe establish what is true and what is false without analysis, dialogue, or critique, thereby banning truth and upholding the lie? America's global military agenda, not to mention extensive war crimes, is supported by a vast propaganda apparatus, which now officially includes Harvard University. What is the end game? The filtering out and the eventual closing down of the alternative online media? The systematic smearing of critical thought? The transformation of the university into a de facto instrument of indoctrination, where science and knowledge are used to justify police state surveillance and America's hegemonic wars? Within America's universities, the learning process is to be revamped. Alternative views are to be discarded. Critical debate on the geopolitics of war are to be foreclosed. The criminalization of US politics is not an object of debate within the nation's colleges and universities. How is this carried out? Students who unduly refer or quote independent or dissident scholars and scientists will not be allowed to graduate. In turn, the universities will not recruit professors and researchers who do not conform to establishment scholarship. Critical debate and plurality are gradually phased out. It's a reproductive process which consists in eliminating dissident views within academia. The American Inquisition. An inquisitorial system is unfolding in some regards similar to the Spanish Inquisition. A consensus building process is established within the nation's institutions of higher learning. It requires social subordination in areas of analysis and scientific research. The political consensus cannot be questioned. In its contemporary version, the Inquisition requires and demands submission to the notion that war is a means to spreading Western values and democracy. And the university is a part of consensus building process whereby concepts and realities are turned upside down. War is peace. The big lie becomes the truth, and the real truth becomes a conspiracy theory. And a witch hunt against the independent media is launched. Those who are committed to truth are characterized as terrorists. War is upheld as a peacemaking endeavor. When war becomes peace, the lie becomes the truth. There is no turning backwards. When war is upheld as a humanitarian endeavor, the judicial system is criminalized. The entire international legal system is turned upside down. Pacifism and the anti-war movement are criminalized. Has Harvard joined the bandwagon with precise guidelines to its professors and students? Has academia joined the corporate media in obfuscating the outspoken truth, namely that America's hegemonic wars destroy humanity? The compliance of intellectuals within leading universities and research institutions is crucial to sustaining the big lie, quote unquote. Opposing the war is taboo within colleges and universities. The lie prevails. A world of fantasy permeates the mainstream media. The universe is fractured and destroyed. Concepts are turned upside down. Political insanity prevails. We are at a dangerous crossroads in our history. Normal scientific analysis, normal critique. Tactical nuclear wars, B-6111, are harmless to the surrounding civilian population because the explosion is underground, according to co-opted scientists on contract the Pentagon. Those who decide on waging nuclear war believe their own propaganda, and they are totally ignorant as to the broader consequences of using nuclear weapons. The danger of a third world war is obfuscated by both the media and the academia. University scholarship conforms. When propaganda becomes knowledge, analysis and debate on the impacts of global warfare and the future in humanity are foreclosed. The university now tells us you have responsibility to support humanitarian wars, quote unquote. The big lie must be exposed for what it is and what it does. It sanctions the indiscriminate killing of men, women, and children. It destroys families and people. It destroys the commitment of people towards their fellow human beings. It prevents people from expressing their solidarity for those who suffer. It upholds war and the police state as the sole avenue. It destroys both nationalism and internationalism. When the lie becomes a truth, there is no turning backwards. Michael CHOSSUDOVSKY, When the Lie Becomes a Truth. That's another article he has written. So, action. Break the propaganda and media disinformation nexus. Rebuild the anti-war movement. Initiate a broad movement in colleges, universities against fake scholarship, quote unquote. So that's the end of the article. It's the original source of the article is Global Research, written by Professor Michael CHOSSUDOVSKY. So, well, we are not endorsing everything that Michael is saying, but we agree partly with what the gist of the article. And the gist of the article is that don't try and censor debate or discussion or analysis in universities. I think that, as you've seen, even the pictures we put up, the fact-checking sites, trying to make sure that you've got your facts right, and there's no BS involved in your fact-checking. And in case you find BS, it will be called BS. It's kind of like what Michael has said. What the Catholic Church did to those who were against the Catholic Church dogma. People like Martin Luther, and even during the Spanish Inquisition, the Jews and Muslims who did not subscribe to Catholic dogma, they were viewed as heretics. They were viewed as unbelievers. And this is the problem that Harvard may put itself in if it continues with this pursuit of telling people what is fake news. Of course, this is against the backdrop of what happened during the US election where Trump was elected. Most analysts, or some analysts, say that Trump was elected because of fake news. And because of the alternative media, that he is the candidate of the alternative media, because most of the alternative media supported Donald Trump. But this is also a generalization that is false, because not all the alternative media supported Donald Trump, and there is alternative media that does not support Donald Trump. They were there. And I remember there was alternative media that supported Bernie Sanders, and there was alternative media that supported nobody, and there was alternative media that supported Jill Stein. So to blanket this generalization, blanketing of the media, alternative media, as being the source and originator of fake news, is totally dangerous for an academician, for someone who is in the academic world. And this is what Michael is trying to bring out. And you can go and read the article to get a gist, written gist of what he said. But I agree with him in total that the university should be protected, because the university is a place of the advancement of knowledge. It is in the university where debate is allowed. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of thought is only found in the university. And I know this caused a lot of trouble also in Europe during the time when the Islamic academicians were fronting about jihad, and it was seen that whoever was sympathetic to jihadism was actually sympathetic to terrorism in the West. So it caused a lot of debate in Oxford University and very many other universities in Europe. And it's still a cause of debate, because if you silence, I am a proponent of freedom of speech unhinged. It's better we know what people think than not know what people think and things happen, because it's through what people think and what people say that we will have reasons as to why certain events have happened. Like if those who propose for jihadism, they speak, they propose for jihadism, and then a terrorist attack happens, we will now understand the root cause of the terrorist attack. That we will know that, oh, this is what the people who were discussing about jihadism were saying. But if these people didn't talk about it and the terrorist attack would happen, we would think it's just another event happening in the world system, when it's actually one that is ideologically driven. And so this is why it's not right to deem every source of information as fake, especially when you have not carried out analysis, or when it is an ad hominem attack, because you don't like the alternative media personalities, so whatever they say is deemed fake. No, take time to listen and critique and analyze. And that is what I think Michael is trying to say, or I would say it that way, that censorship, the last place censorship should take place is the university. And this is what I would implore, and of course tell people like the great Harvard University. By the way, very good researchers there, and it's so funny to find out that they have also blacklisted their own academics as fake news proponents, fake analysts, fake scholars, fake scholarship. It's hilarious, and it shouldn't be the case. The sanctums, the university should be protected, and there should be freedom of expression and freedom of speech and freedom of thought in the university circles, so that we can understand and we can analyze and we can debate and we can discuss issues. So that's the end of our audio article stroke trending adjectives. And the trending adjective is or rather the trending lingo, we'll call it trending lingo, and the trending lingo is fake, the word fake. So we've talked about fake scholarship, that's the title of the article, and then fake news, then you have the fake discussions, fake analysis, fake data, fake practically just try and fake everything in the end. So adios guys, and remember that knowledge is power. Go and get it.